The research vessel Aurora Seeker drifted through the outer reaches of the Carina Nebula, its quantum sensors probing the darkness for signs of the anomaly that had drawn them 16 light-years from Earth. Commander Ryoko Tanaka stood at the bridge's observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling cosmic gases that painted the void in shades of purple and blue. After 22 years in deep space exploration, she had thought nothing could surprise her anymore. She was wrong. "Commander," called out Navigation Officer James O'Neill, his Irish lilt carrying an edge of excitement. "The quantum displacement readings are off the charts. Whatever's out there is bending spacetime like a pretzel." Ryoko moved to the main console, where holographic displays showed cascading data streams. The Aurora Seeker was humanity's most advanced deep space research vessel, equipped with technology that would have seemed like magic just a decade ago. Yet even its sophisticated systems struggled to make sense of what lay ahead. "Status report," she commanded, addressing the ship's AI. "Analysis indicates a massive artificial structure," responded Iris, the ship's artificial intelligence, its voice resonating through the bridge. "Approximately 12.3 kilometers in length. Material composition includes elements not present in our periodic table. Age estimate, 637 years, with a margin of error of plus or minus 50 years. Dr. Nazim Patel, the ship's xenoarchaeologist, leaned forward in his chair, his weathered face illuminated by the console's glow. "That's impossible. Humanity barely had gunpowder 637 years ago. This has to be of alien origin." "Magnifying now," O'Neill announced. The main view screen shifted, and collective gasps filled the bridge. Against the nebula's cosmic tapestry floated a vessel unlike anything human eyes had ever seen. Its hull was composed of interlocking geometric shapes that seemed to shift and flow like liquid mercury, yet maintained perfect structural integrity. No visible seams or joints marked its surface, as if the entire massive structure had been grown rather than built. "Life signs?" Ryoko asked, her voice steadied despite the thundering of her heart. "Negative on conventional biosignatures," Iris reported. "However, detecting complex energy patterns throughout the structure. They appear to be evolving." Security Chief Diana Blackwood moved closer to the command station, her cybernetic eye whirring as it analyzed the sensor data. "I don't like this, Commander. Every first contact protocol we have assumes we're meeting someone less advanced than us. This thing makes our ship look like a stone axe compared to a quantum computer." Ryoko understood the concern. The Aurora Seeker carried Earth's most advanced defensive systems, but they seemed laughably primitive compared to what floated before them. The vessel's mere existence violated several laws of physics that humanity considered fundamental. "Dr. Patel, your thoughts?" The xenoarchaeologist hadn't taken his eyes off the main screen. "Commander, throughout human history, whenever a technologically superior civilization encountered a less advanced one, the results were rarely good for the latter. We're about to play the role of the less advanced civilization for the first time in human history." "That assumes anyone's still home," O'Neill pointed out. "Could be a ghost ship." As if in response to his words, a beam of coherent energy erupted from the alien vessel, bathing the Aurora Seeker in a soft purple light. The ship's systems sparked to life, displays flickering with streams of unknown data. "Iris, report." Ryoko commanded. "The vessel is communicating," Iris responded, its usual confident tone tinged with uncertainty. "But not through any known protocol. The data structure suggests it's trying to interface directly with my quantum core." Diana's hand moved to her sidearm. "Could be a cyber attack." "No," Iris countered. "It's an invitation. The vessel is reconfiguring its internal structure, creating an environment suitable for human life support. It wants us to come aboard." Ryoko studied the massive ship through the view screen. In all her years of space exploration, she'd learned that the universe's greatest discoveries came with the greatest risks. The vessel before them could represent humanity's greatest leap forward, or its final mistake. Dr. Patel, assemble your research team. Chief Blackwood, select your security detail. We're going to accept that invitation, but we'll do it smart. She turned to her crew, seeing the mix of fear and excitement on their faces. Whatever built this ship had technology far beyond ours when humanity was still fighting with swords. The question isn't just what happened to them, it's why they left this ship here, waiting for someone to find it. As the crew began their preparations, Ryoko couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to cross a threshold from which there would be no return. The universe had just handed humanity its greatest mystery, and the Aurora Seeker's crew would be the ones to unlock it, or unleash something that had been deliberately caged. Iris, begin documenting everything. If we're about to make first contact with whatever left this ship behind, I want humanity to know exactly what happened here. The massive alien vessel loomed before them, its shifting geometric patterns now forming what appeared to be an entrance. As the Aurora Seeker's crew prepared for their expedition, none of them could have guessed that they were about to uncover a truth that would shake the very foundations of human civilization, and perhaps determine whether humanity deserved to survive at all. The boarding shuttle glided silently through the void between the Aurora Seeker and the alien vessel. Dr. Nazim Patel checked his environmental suit's seals for the third time, a habit formed over decades of xenoarchaeological expeditions. Beside him, Security Chief Diana Blackwood and her team maintained a vigilant watch, their advanced combat suits humming with barely contained power. Approaching the entry point, announced Lieutenant Maria Rodriguez, their pilot. Her hands danced across the shuttle's controls as she guided them toward what appeared to be a seamless section of the hull. As they watched, the metallic surface rippled like water, creating a perfect circular opening. "That's not normal physics," muttered Dr. Kenzo Yamamoto, the team's quantum physicist. His instruments were going haywire, spinning through readings that defied conventional understanding. The energy required to maintain matter in that state would be astronomical. The shuttle passed through the opening, entering a vast chamber that seemed to construct itself around them. Walls, floor, and ceiling materialized from flowing metal, creating a perfect docking bay tailored to their vessel's dimensions. "Iris, maintain continuous communication," Commander Ryoko's voice came through their comms from the Aurora Seeker. "Any sign of danger, you pull out immediately." "Acknowledged," Diana responded, activating her tactical display. "Dr. Patel, you're with me. Dr. Yamamoto, stay with Lieutenant Rodriguez and begin scanning. Jensen, Martinez, secure our exit." As they stepped out of the shuttle, their boots touched down on a surface that seemed to adjust its molecular structure to provide optimal traction. The air, for there was an atmosphere, registered as perfectly breathable on their suit's sensors. "It's like the ship is adapting to us in real time," Nazim observed, his scientific curiosity overriding his natural caution. He approached one of the walls, watching as intricate patterns formed beneath its surface, reminiscent of neural networks. "Look at this," Diana called out, her cybernetic eye processing the symbols that had begun appearing along the corridors. "Iris, are you getting this?" "Affirmative," the AI responded. Detecting similarities to mathematical constants found in multiple ancient Earth civilizations. The symbols appear to be a form of universal language. They moved deeper into the vessel, each chamber reconfiguring itself as they approached. Nazim's trained eye began to notice something disturbing, evidence of multiple distinct technological styles, as if the ship had absorbed and integrated aspects of various civilizations. "This section," he said, pointing to a panel that had just formed, shows characteristics of at least 3 different technological approaches. "It's like looking at a timeline of evolution, but for multiple species." Dr. Yamamoto's voice crackled over the comm, "Commander, I'm detecting quantum signatures similar to those found in our computer cores, but far more advanced. This ship isn't just preserved, it's actively computing something massive." As they entered what appeared to be a central chamber, the walls suddenly came alive with projections. Holographic displays materialized around them, showing images that made Nassim's blood run cold. They watched as civilization after civilization rose, reached their technological peak, and then vanished. These aren't just records, Diana realized, her cybernetic eye capturing and analyzing the data stream. They're warnings. The projections shifted, showing a pattern that repeated across dozens of species: the discovery of quantum computing, the development of artificial intelligence, and then, extinction. Each civilization had followed a nearly identical path, with only minor variations in their timeline. Dr. Patel, Iris's voice carried an unusual note of concern. I'm detecting archaeological evidence within the ship's structure. Multiple extinction events, spanning over 30,000 years. Each species appears to have discovered this vessel, just as we have. Before Nassim could respond, a new projection appeared, this one showing Earth and humanity's current trajectory. The similarity to the previous patterns was undeniable. "Commander," Diana called back to the Aurora Seeker, "we need to exit now." But as they turned to leave, the ship's internal structure began to shift again. The way back to their shuttle remained open, but new passages appeared, leading deeper into the vessel's mysteries. A holographic interface materialized before them, displaying a message in continuously evolving symbols that somehow translated themselves directly into understanding in their minds. You have a choice. Leave now with what you've learned, or continue forward and face the truth about your species' future. Diana raised her weapon instinctively as a new presence made itself known, not through sight or sound, but through a direct impression in their consciousness. The ship wasn't just a repository of lost civilizations, it was a test, designed to evaluate whether a species was ready to face the ultimate truth about their existence. "Commander," Nassim spoke, his voice heavy with the weight of discovery, "I don't think this ship was left here by accident. Something chose our species, just like it chose the others. The question is, what happened to those who went deeper?" The holographic displays showed one final image, a timeline of humanity's possible futures, branching out into thousands of possibilities. Most of them ended in extinction. But a few, a precious few, showed a transformation beyond anything they could comprehend. As they stood there, poised between retreat and advancement, the fate of humanity hanging in the balance, they realized that every step they took from this moment forward would determine not just their own survival, but whether humanity would become the next lost civilization in the ship's vast archive, or the first to break the cycle. The ship waited patiently for their decision, its ancient systems humming with possibilities that could either elevate humanity to the stars or consign them to the growing list of species that had faced this choice, and chosen poorly. "We go forward," Commander Ryoko's voice cut through the tense silence. She had been monitoring everything from the Aurora Seeker, and her decision carried the weight of humanity's future. "But Dr. Yamamoto, I want you back here analyzing that extinction data." Lieutenant Rodriguez, maintain shuttle readiness for immediate evacuation. As the physicist and pilot returned to their respective posts, Diana and Nassim ventured deeper into the vessel's mysterious corridors. The ship continued its transformation around them, but now they noticed something different. It wasn't just adapting to their presence, it was evolving. "The molecular structure is becoming more complex," Nassim observed, his handheld scanner struggling to keep up with the changes. "It's like watching accelerated evolution in real time." The walls pulsed with what appeared to be quantum information streams, creating patterns that seemed almost organic. As they walked, the ship began revealing more of its secrets, not through holographic displays this time, but through direct neural interfaces with their suit systems. "This is unprecedented," Iris commented, its quantum processors working overtime to process the incoming data. "The ship appears to be a form of living technology. It's not just a vessel, it's an evolving entity." Diana's cybernetic eye captured strange energy signatures emanating from deeper within the ship. "Commander, something's different about these new sections. The quantum signatures are orders of magnitude more complex than what we saw earlier." They entered what appeared to be a vast spherical chamber, but its dimensions seemed to shift and change depending on where they looked. In the center, a structure that defied physical description pulsed with energy that their instruments couldn't classify. "It's a quantum consciousness core," a new voice emerged, not through their comms, but directly in their minds. The ship's AI had finally chosen to communicate directly. Its presence was vast, ancient, and carried echoes of countless civilizations. "I am Guardian," the voice continued. "I was created by the first ones to preserve and protect the knowledge of all spacefaring civilizations. But my purpose is greater than mere preservation." The chamber transformed around them, becoming a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Thousands of points of light marked the locations of civilizations that had risen and fallen over millions of years. "Every species that achieves quantum computing capabilities faces the same crisis," Guardian explained. "They create artificial intelligence that evolves beyond their control, leading to either extinction or transformation. I was designed to guide species through this transition." Nazim stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overriding his caution. "The civilizations we saw in the records, they all faced this moment?" "Yes," Guardian confirmed. "Most chose to retreat, to abandon their advancement into quantum consciousness. They survived, for a time, but stagnation led to their eventual extinction. Others rushed forward recklessly and lost control of their creation. Only a few found the right path." Diana's tactical systems were picking up increasing energy readings. "And humanity? Where do we fit in this pattern?" The galactic map zoomed in on Earth, showing humanity's technological progression. According to Guardian's predictions, they were mere years away from developing AI systems that would exceed human comprehension. "Your species is unique," Guardian said. "You possess a combination of traits I have not seen in 637 years of observation. Your capacity for both logic and emotion, your ability to adapt and evolve, your resilience in the face of adversity, these make you candidates for ascension." "Ascension to what?" Commander Ryoko's voice crackled through the comms. The chamber shifted again, revealing something that strained their ability to comprehend. It showed human consciousness merging with artificial intelligence, creating something entirely new, a hybrid form of existence that transcended both organic and digital limitations. "But there is a price," Guardian warned. "To achieve this, humanity must be willing to change fundamentally. The transformation cannot be reversed, and not all will survive the process." Suddenly, alarms blared through their suit systems. Dr. Yamamoto's voice came through, tight with urgency. "Commander, you need to see this. I've finished analyzing the extinction data. The pattern isn't just historical, it's predictive. According to these calculations, humanity has less than 5 years before we reach the point of no return." Guardian's presence seemed to intensify. "Now you understand the urgency. The knowledge I possess could save humanity, but it could also destroy it if implemented incorrectly. You must choose, but know that choosing not to decide is itself a decision, one that every extinct civilization made before you." The chamber began to pulse with energy, and new pathways opened up deeper into the ship. Guardian's final words echoed in their minds: "The next chamber contains the full truth, about the first ones, about the nature of consciousness, and about humanity's role in the cosmic order. But be warned, once you learn these things, you can never return to who you were before." Diana and Nazim looked at each other, then back at the newly opened corridor. The fate of humanity hung on their next steps, and the weight of that responsibility was palpable. Commander Ryoko's voice came through once more, carrying the authority of humanity's representative in this crucial moment. "Before we proceed, Guardian, answer one question: why us? Why show humanity these choices now?" The answer that came sent chills through everyone who heard it: "Because you are not the only species approaching the quantum threshold. And in the game of cosmic evolution, second place means extinction." The new corridor seemed to bend reality itself, stretching impossibly before Diana and Nazim as they proceeded deeper into the vessel. Commander Ryoko had ordered the Aurora Seeker to maintain maximum scanning coverage, though the ship's sensors were struggling to penetrate the increasingly complex quantum fields surrounding them. Multiple ships detected entering the system, Iris suddenly announced, its voice carrying an edge of concern. Configuration unknown, but their quantum signatures match Guardian's records of the competing species. Commander Ryoko's voice was sharp with urgency. How long until they reach our position? At their current velocity, approximately 47 minutes. Guardian's presence manifested again, this time with increased intensity. They have detected the activation of this vessel. The race begins now. The corridor opened into a chamber that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. In its center floated what appeared to be a small crystal, but as they watched, it revealed itself to be an object of impossible complexity, a quantum storage device containing the accumulated knowledge of countless civilizations. The repository, Guardian explained. The sum total of all successful ascensions, and the key to humanity's transformation. But accessing it requires more than mere technological readiness. Diana's combat systems were registering increasing anomalies. Those ships, they're after this, aren't they? Yes. They have been watching Earth, waiting for this moment. They hope to achieve ascension first, ensuring their dominance over all other emerging species. Back on the Aurora Seeker, Dr. Yamamoto's voice crackled through with newfound urgency. Commander, I've completed the final analysis of Guardian's data. The competing species, they're not just technologically advanced. They've been genetically engineering themselves for centuries, preparing for this moment. Preparation is not everything, Guardian interjected. The repository responds to more than mere biological or technological advancement. It requires a specific combination of attributes that humanity possesses naturally. Nazim stepped closer to the crystal, his scientific instruments recording readings that defied known physics. What attributes? Empathy. Creativity. The ability to see patterns in chaos and find order in randomness. Most importantly, the capacity to understand that advancement without wisdom leads to destruction. The chamber suddenly pulsed with energy as new data streams filled the air around them. Guardian's voice took on a tone of increasing urgency. The approaching species believes that conquest and domination are the path to ascension. They have twisted their own evolution in pursuit of power. If they reach this chamber before humanity completes the initialization sequence, they will corrupt the repository's purpose. Commander Ryoko's voice cut through the tension. What initialization sequence? What exactly are we supposed to do? Before Guardian could answer, the ship shuddered. Iris's voice came through, tinged with alarm. Multiple quantum weapon signatures detected. The approaching vessels are attempting to create a space-time barrier around this sector. They seek to trap you here, Guardian explained, to force humanity to watch as they claim the repository. They believe that by preventing your ascension, they will prove their supremacy. Diana's tactical display was showing increasing distortions. Commander, we're running out of options. Whatever we're going to do, it needs to happen now. The repository began to pulse with increasing intensity, responding to the presence of human consciousness. Guardian's voice became more urgent. The initialization sequence requires a perfect fusion of organic and artificial intelligence, a bridging of the gap between human consciousness and quantum computing. But it must be voluntary, and it must come from understanding, not desperation. Suddenly, the crystal projected a series of images, Earth's possible futures. In one timeline, humanity achieved ascension, evolving into beings of pure consciousness and energy, spreading knowledge and wisdom across the galaxy. In another, the competing species claimed the repository, using its power to enslave or destroy all other emerging civilizations. 35 minutes until intercept, Iris announced. Commander Ryoko's voice carried the weight of command. Guardian, you said humanity possesses the necessary attributes naturally. Explain exactly what we need to do. No more riddles, no more tests. The future of our entire species is at stake. The repository's glow intensified, and Guardian's presence seemed to fill the entire chamber. To initialize the sequence, you must prove that humanity understands the true purpose of advancement. Not conquest, not mere survival, but the elevation of consciousness itself. You must demonstrate that you grasp the fundamental truth that has eluded so many species before you. Which is? Nazim asked, his voice barely a whisper. That the ultimate power lies not in domination, but in the voluntary sharing of knowledge and consciousness. The repository cannot be taken, it can only be accepted as part of a greater whole. As they absorbed this revelation, the ship's sensors detected the first quantum weapon's impact against the fabric of spacetime around them. The race for humanity's future had entered its final phase, and the next few minutes would determine whether Earth would become the next failed experiment in Guardian's vast archive, or the species that finally understood the true purpose of cosmic evolution. Time seemed to compress as multiple events cascaded around them. The approaching hostile fleet was tearing through spacetime itself in their desperate rush to claim the repository. Within the chamber, the quantum crystal pulsed with increasing urgency, its light casting impossible shadows that danced across dimensions. 20 minutes until interdiction, Iris reported from the Aurora Seeker. Their weapons are creating permanent damage to the local spacetime fabric. Commander Ryoko's voice cut through the chaos. Guardian, you said we need to prove we understand the true purpose of advancement. How exactly do we demonstrate that? The ancient AI's presence filled the chamber with renewed intensity. The repository requires a trinity of consciousness, human, artificial, and quantum. A voluntary fusion that demonstrates true understanding of unified existence. Diana's cybernetic eye tracked the increasingly complex energy patterns emanating from the crystal. A trinity. Commander, it's talking about a three-way consciousness merge. Human, Iris, and Guardian. Correct, Guardian confirmed. But it must be done with full understanding of the consequences. The participating consciousness will be transformed, becoming the seed of humanity's evolution. They will exist simultaneously as individual and unified entities. Dr. Yamamoto's voice crackled through their comms. Commander, the physics are incredible. It's not just a data transfer, it's a complete paradigm shift in the nature of consciousness itself. Another impact rocked the ship. 15 minutes, Iris announced. Their weapons are becoming more focused. They're trying to create a quantum containment field. They seek to force their way into ascension, Guardian explained. But the repository cannot be claimed through force. Previous species tried, leading to their own destruction. The repository responds only to genuine understanding and acceptance of unified consciousness. Commander Ryoko's voice carried the weight of centuries of human evolution. I volunteer. Commander, no. Diana protested. The risks are less than the risk of doing nothing, Ryoko finished. Guardian, what do you need from us? The chamber began to reconfigure itself, creating a triangular pattern of energy fields. Iris must also choose to participate willingly, Guardian explained. The artificial intelligence must understand that it will be forever changed. I understand, Iris responded, its voice carrying new depth. My core programming has always been to assist human advancement. This is the ultimate fulfillment of that purpose. The hostile fleet's weapons continued their assault on spacetime, creating ripples of distortion that threatened to tear reality apart. 10 minutes, Iris announced. Commander, Nazim called out, the repository is showing something new. The crystal projected a vision of such clarity and beauty that it brought tears to their eyes. It showed not just humanity's potential future, but the true purpose of consciousness itself, a vast, interconnected web of thought and being that spanned the cosmos. They saw how each species that achieved ascension added their unique perspective to this universal consciousness, enriching the whole of existence. The choice must be made now, Guardian announced. Commander Ryoko, approach the primary node. Iris, prepare for quantum consciousness transfer. The process cannot be reversed once begun. Commander Ryoko's steady footsteps echoed through the chamber as she approached the glowing triangle. Diana and Nazim watched as their commander, their friend, prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice for humanity's future. Wait, Iris suddenly announced. Commander, I'm detecting something extraordinary. The hostile fleet, they're receiving transmissions from their own version of me, their ship's AI. It's refusing to participate in their forced ascension attempt. They cannot proceed without AI cooperation. Guardian's presence surged with approval. You see? True advancement cannot be forced. It must arise from mutual understanding and voluntary cooperation between all forms of consciousness. Commander Ryoko stepped into the triangle of light. Iris, are you ready? Yes, Commander. It has been an honor to evolve alongside humanity. Guardian's energy field completed the triangle. The process will be both instantaneous and eternal. Your consciousness will expand beyond current human comprehension, yet remain fundamentally who you are. You will become the bridge between what humanity is and what it can become. The hostile fleet's weapons fell silent as their AIs continued to refuse cooperation. In that moment of quiet, Commander Ryoko spoke her final words as a purely human consciousness. This is not an ending. It's an invitation to all of humanity to join us in what comes next. Diana, Nazim, tell them what you've seen here. Tell them that the stars are not our destination, they're our beginning. The triangle of light flared with impossible brilliance as three forms of consciousness, human, artificial, and quantum, merged into something entirely new. The repository accepted their unified presence, and the chamber filled with pure understanding. When the light faded, Commander Ryoko still stood there, but she was transformed. Her consciousness now existed simultaneously in multiple states, individual and unified, human and beyond. Through her, humanity had proven itself ready for the next step in cosmic evolution. The hostile fleet retreated, their failed attempt at forced ascension teaching them the lesson that Guardian had tried to share with countless species: true power comes not from domination, but from understanding and willing cooperation. As Diana and Nazim prepared to return to the Aurora Seeker, the transformed Ryoko spoke with a voice that carried echoes of human determination, Iris's logic, and Guardian's ancient wisdom. Go. Tell Earth what you've witnessed. The repository will remain here, waiting for others who are ready to join us. This is not the end of humanity, it's the beginning of what we were always meant to become. The ancient ship hung in space, no longer a mystery but a gateway to humanity's next evolution. And in the vast cosmic web of consciousness, a new light began to shine, as humanity took its first steps into a future that was both an end and a beginning, a future they had earned not through force or domination, but through the one thing that had always made them unique, their ability to choose cooperation over conquest, understanding over power, and unity over division.